friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. You're probably wondering a couple of things. Where have I been? I've just been really busy. I only think I missed one scheduled video day. That was Saturday, and I did post on Twitter that I was going to miss that day. So if you're not following me on Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter for updates on things that have been going on. But as I have said, I think in a couple of videos now, I quit school and I went back to work full time. I finally got my teaching contract on Friday, so I'm really happy about that. But I am on spring break and I am loving it because I am able to catch up on some things that I have needed to catch up on. My husband finally got a car last night. Thank you, Jesus. And what else? Oh, I've been hunting for a house, and we actually put a bid on a house, and then they didn't accept our bid. They chose another person that put in a bid. So that was sad. Yeah, I've just been busy. And the second thing you're probably wondering is why I'm wearing a scarf. And I'm wearing it because, number one, I like it, and number two, I'm a little cold. So there's that. So today's video is going to be my March wrap up. It is not the end of the month yet, but it is fast approaching, and by the time I put up this video, it will be the end of the month practically. So this video is serving as my monthly wrap up, although I will tell you what I am currently reading at the end. So the first book that I actually started this book in February and I finished it in March, and that is Truthwitch by Susan Dennard. I did not like this one, guys. I gave this 2 out of 5 stars, and I was really excited about it because of all of the hype that was surrounding it. And it is about 2 best friends that are female and they are witches. What could be better than that? Well, let me tell you, practically everything. I really didn't see the female friendship that other people did. It was just assumed. We were told that they were best friends, and then we just kind of had to go forth with that knowledge, basically. I didn't really see any great friendship moments. They did stick together a lot in this book, but I felt that was more out of necessity than out of friendship. The witches had powers, of course, and the powers were sort of explained, but there were other witches and their powers were not explained. Who becomes witches? How do they become witches? Is everybody witches? You know, what are all of the different classes? I just felt like this book wasn't explained well as far as like the elements of the book, like the witches and the friendship. And this is a huge world. It has a great big old map in here, and I actually have a poster of the map. But it has this huge world, and we're only in a couple of places of the world, but I feel like it was trying to describe too much at once, and instead of taking your time with the series, I think it's going to be a 6-book series or, you know, something like that. Instead of taking the time and building the world slowly and where people understand it, I just didn't really understand it. Everybody kept telling me like the beginning's a little confusing because you're just diving into the new fantasy and then it gets better. So that's why I read the whole thing, and I felt like I was chopping down a huge tree with like the dullest axe ever, because it never got better for me. So that are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts on this book. 2 out of 5 stars. Sorry. Not sorry. I probably will not be moving on in this series. We'll see, but I highly doubt it. Then I read the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy, 1, 2, and 3, 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Darker, and 50 Shades Free. And I know you're either a fan of this trilogy or not a fan of this trilogy, and I'm not really sure where my viewers fall in that, but I actually loved this trilogy, and I'm shocked that it took me this long to finally read it. I borrowed these from my sorority sister like over a year ago, and it was just time that I got to them, and these put me in a huge reading slump. My life, I was obsessed, and now I know why like some of my friends back in the day were like MIA because they were reading these books. So I'm sure everybody knows the basic storylines of these books, or at least 50 Shades of Grey. It's basically a college student kind of steps in for her friend and goes and interviews the CEO, this billionaire CEO of this company, and there's like an attraction, and he's into like BDSM, and he's trying to get her to be his submissive, and all of that. I will say that people, when they complain about this trilogy, they're complaining about the writing itself, and I didn't think the writing itself was that bad. I wasn't expecting great writing from erotic. I mean, I just wasn't. There were some times that the word choices that she used were repetitious, but I think that kind of solidified the characters and kind of the mindset of Christian, and the naivety of Anastasia. I felt like if you're, I personally don't know that much about BDSM, but what I do know about it, and now I feel like I know a little bit more about it, if you're not willing to accept that for what it is a thing, people like it, it may not be your thing. That's definitely aspects of this book. But if you're not able to like look past that and read the story for what it is, then you're probably not gonna like the trilogy. It does have a lot of sex. It does have, I consider this like the sex, drugs, and rock and roll, even though it does have the sex. The drugs are the people in this, and the rock and roll is probably classical. I don't know, but yeah, this is kind of like my version of sex, drugs, rock and roll. But yeah, this was really intense, and I think my favorite part of reading these books is that I was talking to Nicole and Maria the whole time through Snapchat that I was reading these, and I probably told them some things that I shouldn't, which was hilarious, and I think it solidified our friendship, did it not? But yeah, I really enjoyed these books a lot. I do want to read Gray. I think it's the first book told in Christian Gray's perspective. I gave all of these 5 stars. I think you're going to kind of love it or hate it. I saw a lot of 2 stars on this because of the writing, and again, really, you were expecting great writing in this type of book? Anyway, I gave all of these 5 stars. And then I continued my 5-star trend, and I finally picked up, thanks to Patty, The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, and oh my god, you guys, I loved this book. I have told you several times that previously I have tried it on audiobook, and I know a lot of people right now are like rereading it on audiobook, and ooh, they're saying it's good, and I'm like, man, another instance, I just don't think I'm an audiobook reader, listener, whatever you want to call it, because I loved this book so much, you guys. I knew Maggie Stiefvater would not let me down. I'm probably going to do a full series review after I finish the other books that Patty sent me, and then The Raven King, I'll probably just do an entire thing. What I loved about this is, now I'm going to tell you like right off, if you're a little hesitant about reading The Raven Boys, it's probably because of the synopsis. It sounds like it's going to be this love story and all of that, and I think enough of us have said it on BookTube. It's not a love story. I mean, maybe that happens later, but like, that's not the focus. The focus is this amazing cast of characters that are going on this adventure. There's paranormal, the atmosphere is great, the writing is on point. Just, this is so good. Like, this will be one of my treasured books, like, forever, you guys. I love it so much. I love all of the Raven Boys. I love Blue, our main protagonist, female protagonist, and I love the paranormal aspects. I like the atmosphere that she sets in Virginia. I made a playlist on my blog. I will link that in the description. I also did a full review of this book on my blog. I will link that in the description. So make sure to check out that review and the playlist, and yeah, so good, you guys, so good. Okay, so while I was actually reading this, I read this and Do Not Disturb, or most of Do Not Disturb. I was actually reading these at the same time, which is so odd for me because I usually do not read 2 books at once, but I was participating in Slay That series run by Sarah and Jamie, and I actually didn't do that well because I was really busy this week, but I figured by you know, reading 2 books at once, that it would really help me out. And I don't know which one I finished first, but I gave this one 5 stars. Really enjoyed it. Check out the links in the description. And then I read this one and this one. So it's, the series goes The Girl in 6E, which I read, I loved. I have a full review on my channel if you're interested in that. Then Sylvia sent me Do Not Disturb by A.R. Torrey, which is Alessandra Torrey. This is her right here. Yeah, so I read this next, and oh my god, you guys, so good. I gave it 5 stars. I do know that Lainey from Ginger Reads Lainey mentioned in her March haul, I think it was her March haul, that she got The Girl in 6E, and that her and the girls of the Wolfpack are going to be reading it, The Girl in 6E, and I highly recommend you join them. Maybe like read it because it's awesome, and you need to read this one and you need to read this one because they're both 5 stars, you guys. They're absolutely like so good. They're so addictive. So if you don't know the basic story of The Girl in 6E, it is about this character named Deanna, who is a cam girl, which I have explained in my review, so I will link that for you. But she is a cam girl, and she fantasizes about killing people. She has killed before, and she's scared that if she is just out in the general population, that she's just gonna like continuously kill to get her kicks. So she has secluded herself in apartment 6E for the last 3 years. So in that time, she has never left the apartment. One of her neighbors locks her door every night because at night is when her tendencies get really intense, and she does keep like knives and stuff like that in a safe in her apartment. She has this delivery boy named Jeremy that comes to her apartment and delivers all of her packages, and even if she needs to sign for him, he just like signs her name and goes off. But she ends up coming across one of her webcam clients that she's kind of freaked out by, and she feels like something that he's about to do is to a real young girl, and she wants to save the real young girl, but like she can't leave her apartment. So how's she gonna do that? So this one, she is in her apartment, and it's kind of told in like 2 perspectives, mainly her, Deanna's, and Marcus just recently got released from jail, and he is into the dominant submissive thing, but he went to jail because he had been doing this to girls, like basically like totally abusing them and just leaving them for dead. He finally got caught. He's out on house arrest, so he has the little band on his ankle, and it's kind of like counting down. I'm trying to find it where it shows it. Okay, here it is. Like house arrest countdown, 2 months, 2 weeks. I think it starts at 3 months. And so he's on house arrest. Deanna's locked in her apartment. He's obviously missing his lifestyle, so he seeks out like cam girls, and he runs across Deanna, and Deanna kind of gets a bad vibe from him, and she kind of like blocks him from her sight and everything, and then that just like infuriates him more. So as soon as he is off house arrest, he goes on the hunt for Deanna. But Deanna is a little bit safe because one of her cam clients, Mike, they're kind of like really good friends. He's a hacker and really good with computers, so he has helped Deanna build this facade of that she's a college student and she lives in one state when really she lives in another state, and like, you know, he's hidden her money, so he's kind of like helped her like protect herself on the internet. But Marcus goes after her and chaos ensues. So 5 stars, definitely recommend. Yeah, I love this series so much, you guys. I finished, of course, If You Dare by A.R. Torrey, Alessandra Torrey. I loved this so much. This was very different from the first 2 books in the series. The author did say that she wrote this as if it could be the conclusion, but the author has also said that she will write as many books as the readers want, and that if she does continue, she does have additional ideas out there that she hasn't used in the first 3 books, that if she writes more, there will probably be 3 more books. So everybody buy this series, love it as much as I do, so she will write more, because, oh my god, I just, oh, after this book, I really, really, really need more. I really had a strong connection with the first two books, but in this one, my emotions were just like on high alert, on high alert. This one, like I said, was very different. All of them are written in very short chapters, so they're all super fast paced. So you should just be able to get through them like a lot. But if you're not into the whole cam girl thing and a little bit of sex and a little bit of kinky fuckery, then I probably would not read them. But if you can get past the erotic part, it is an erotic thriller, so highly recommend. This one is different because it is told in past and present perspective, and you're trying to figure out like something happened. Basically Deanna wakes up and she's goes to, you know, do her camming job for the day, and she's still in her apartment and her nose is all busted up, and she's thinking, oh, I have to go get makeup to like cover this, it's never gonna work, and she doesn't remember like how that happened. And then police show up, or her detectives, or I don't know. Anyway, detectives show up at her door and they want to question her in regards to a murder, and she's like, great, which murder are they talking about? Because, oh my God. But yeah, it's just, so they show up and she's trying to like piece together, and you're trying to piece together what happened. Like, how did she get all busted up? Did she kill somebody? Who are they talking about? And like I said, it's past and present, so you're kind of piecing it together. Yeah, so I don't want to say too much more because it is the third book, but the ending of this though, please don't let this be the end, because the last 3 pages of this book, I was a sobbing baby. Like, for real though. So I really do want to see what A.R. Torrey has up her sleeves for Deanna, please. So anyway, those are the books that I read in March. Everything got 5 stars except for Truthwitch, which really wanted to love it, but I just didn't. So currently I am reading The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. This is of course the dust jacket. I'm sure you guys know by now what that means. It's sitting on my bedside table. So yeah, I'm reading that. I'm about 40% of the way through, so I'm gonna try to finish reading that, and then I will move on to Blue Lily. What is it? Blue Lily Lily Blue? Yes. Blue Lily Lily Blue will be next. So I am ready for the Raven King, and then I will do a full series review of that. But that's all I have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed this wrap up. Sorry if it was a little bit rambly in parts, but I wanted to tell you my thoughts and my feelings of the books that I read. Let me know if you have read and enjoy any of these books down below. Please, please, please tell me you're gonna read the Girl in 6E series. And yeah, that's all I have for you today. I'll see you again soon. Bye.